Today I figured I'd make a video about the wild raspberries that are in the bush around here. We even have them on my place. I don't know if you can see that silver dot in the middle of the screen to the right of the cottonwood there. There's that dead pole sticking up. But that's the reflection off the window of my place. So we're a couple of kilometers from my house, just on the other side of the valley, in this cut block that they had logged off about 3 years ago. So now it's good in time for the berries to come back. You can see the thimbleberries, there's raspberries. Don't see too much huckleberry this low of elevation, but it's possible you might see some gooseberries or huckleberries. But you'll be able to see that there's a lot of fireweeds come up, something that looks like a goldenrod, the yellow flower there. And about 3 years, this is when the animals start coming in. You get better hunting up in spots like this, and you get way better berry picking. So let's come through here and noticed there's tons of wild raspberries, and they're everywhere in this block. So I'll get up a little closer and we'll take a better look. Right off the side of the road here, we've got our first bush, and I find that these the ones that the leaves are starting to yellow, they really pack in the sweetness. And pick them easy. The thorns aren't too bad, or you can wear a glove. But to pick them easy, I like to tip them back and then just pull off a whole bunch. The ripe ones, the really ripe ones usually just fall off when you touch them. But they're a really nice berry. You know, decent size. You get bigger ones, you get smaller ones. So this is next year's growth. These will grow the berries on the second year canes, and they're everywhere. Next year's are everywhere. Little ones popping up all over the place. So next year it's going to be even better. But we'll take these older canes that are starting to yellow, and I tip them back, and you can really see the berries. They get in there. You're going to drop them. Lots of them. That scatters the seeds, and then the mice on the ground, they can eat them. There'll be mice and squirrels and such coming through, and they'll have happy to pick them up for you. But there's some pretty good ones in here. I blow off whatever dust, maybe the odd bug, give it a little check. I rarely keep them. I can eat these things all day. I'll go find another bush, some bigger ones, just ahead. Okay, here's another bush. We have, right over here we got thimbleberries, and there's the odd one ready. They're still developing. This one here is just chock full of raspberries. Let's see if we get a little zoom in here. Just loaded. Now, I was in here yesterday, and I already cleaned up, and more have ripened, and then there's a lot that we missed, but this bush here I found to be exceptionally sweet. Right in the middle here, those ones on those yellowing bushes, oh, they were incredibly sweet and sort of caramely. And then over here there's more. It's just a long, even right to the end of this hump here, it's just a long batch of berries. So I get into these, and like, honestly, they're just covered. And these wild raspberries, they produce so well here that you can really get a good feed on coming up into the bush. And they look just like a domestic raspberry, so really there's no worry about identification. But there's another danger that you gotta watch out for in these cut blocks. I'm eating these things as I go, kicking the bugs out. All right. Hornets. Hornets love these spots. So while I was walking around in here, another big raspberry. All these logs. I just get up, drag a log up sometimes, or just squat down and just start grazing. Here we go, that's the one I was looking at. just loaded. Beautiful red raspberries. And these are a nice size, you know, bigger than my pinky nail. More over here. Just incredible amount of in this block. And you'll find them like this. They just spread so rapidly. But over here we found a danger. I was coming in here and one of my kids upset this hornet nest. Now I work in these cut blocks. I didn't work in this specific one, but just down the road I worked in a bunch of them. And we find hornets' nests under logs like that all the time. So you know, you get a couple hours out in the bush and run into these buggers, you can have a possibility of a bad reaction. So you got to be mindful. You see them flying in and out actively. They're using it. So you got to watch out for these things. So you got to be really careful that you don't step on a rotten log that's got a nest inside of it or just underneath it. Yeah, they're flying around my head now. They've already figured out that I'm here. So I'm staying away from that bush of raspberries. And probably this bush. Oh, this one's loaded. Maybe I'll eat this one. And we'll just leave those hornets alone, because they can get nasty. They're usually pretty gentle. They may even bump into you without stinging, but they can really pack a wallop when they do bite you. So, well, that's probably about it for looking for the raspberries. To show you where we find them. You know, 2-3-year-old cut blocks. Just been trees have just been planted, and they're maybe a year or two old. I don't actually see any trees. This blue tape that we find, that's where the planters will mark them so that the bush bosses, the mill and the government, they can actually come out and look. But you know, sometimes the tape gets blown away, and this is actually a prime spot to plant a tree on this raised planting site. So you'd think there'd be one here, but well, maybe not this one. Anyways, we'll cut it off here, and I'll get back to picking raspberries and see if we can find something else to show you. Have a good day.